Hello and welcome to Tête-à-tête with Tiwa. I'm Tineke.
And I'm Wally.
And today we are going to answer a question that we received during the week. I will read it out. Do I sound like a... Today we're going to answer a question, right? I got this question and it says, if a person knows that when they go out they will misbehave, etc., is it better for them to stay away from such places, or to go to them and try to develop self-control?
And to go to the
To the
place.
places.
Oh, places. Right.
Yeah, so basically they go somewhere. When they get there, they misbehave, whatever that means. Actually, I did ask what that means, and they said flirting, dancing, and being all over other women. So I think it's probably a guy, but I don't know.
I would dance is maybe misbehaving.
Well, you see, misbehave means different things to different people, doesn't it?
Okay.
So I guess the person asking is female, and perhaps it's her man.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Right.
I don't know. I'm assuming. It's a female person she's asking. And because she says flirting, dancing, and being all over other women, that makes me think that, they go out together maybe, and he misbehaves, in her opinion.
Okay.
So what she's saying, is it better for him not to go there at all? Or is it better for him to go there and then build self-control by going there? Do you want to take it first, or would you like me to take it first?
Please go first, because I'm still a bit confused. I'm still trying to break it down in my mind.
Okay, so what I think, I think, no, you're right. What somebody thinks is misbehave, someone else might not think is misbehave. But we're answering this question for this lady, and she thinks that is misbehaving, right? So whatever it might be. So if we say that they go there and they take drugs, or they go there, whatever it is, basically they're doing something that seems to be that she's not happy with, and maybe she thinks it's out of character. I've just put that in there myself. So what I would say
is the dancing part.
No, I mean, you said dancing all over other women, so it's probably...
Oh, it's dancing all over other women.
Because you're a dancer, you didn't
sorry, all I heard was dancing, and I thought, Yeah, please go ahead, sorry.
Should I read it again?
Yeah, go on.
If a person knows that when they go out, they will misbehave, etc., is it better for them to stay away from such places, or to go and try and develop self-control? Okay. Then I said, define misbehave. And she said, flirting, dancing, and being all over other women. So basically, all these things are all over other women.
Right, okay.
That's my understanding.
I'm with you now. Yes.
You get it now?
Okay. Finally.
So I think my answer to that would be about setting boundaries. But the first thing is that the guy himself has to identify that he feels that those things are misbehaving.
Right.
Because if he doesn't think they're misbehaving, then he's not going to feel that there's a need to set boundaries.
Right.
But let's just assume that he agrees that he's misbehaving. Maybe he's regretful after, which is probably, I don't know, maybe he's regretful after, I don't know the details. But what?
Did you say drinking in any of this?
No, I didn't say drinking, but maybe that's what causes all of this. I don't know.
Okay.
Why?
No, because I'm thinking, so the way I'm hearing the question is, this only happens when he goes to these places, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So does this mean then that it is out of character?
Yeah, so is there things he's doing in this?
Or is there something that induces this?
Yeah.
Did you see?
Well, we don't know.
Okay.
We're stabbing in the dark here, so maybe we answer both ways.
All right, go on.
So what I was saying was that I feel like the person themselves has to identify that this is something they no longer want to do. Yes, so that is misbehaving, so that then they can now set boundaries where they're kind of like, okay, if I go to, if I go to this place, I always go with one person so that they can keep me in check. Or if I go to this place, I only stay an hour. Or, you know what I mean? Put things in place that will help curb their behavior, hopefully help curb their behavior. But in order to do that, they have to even accept that behavior is not something that they want to be doing. But having said that, even more than that, like you said, more important is what is the cause of this thing. So is it that something is inducing it? Is it a root deep cause down somewhere that there's, a need for something? So I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know, but the way I'm hearing the question is, this is not
normal behavior.
It only happens when this person goes to these places, like you said. And so if that's the case, then why is what needs to be addressed first.
Yeah.
Before, and because if you address why, you might not need
to do all the rest. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that part about Sunaya answering the question, whether stay away from these places or face and build, what's it like?
Build self-control.
Build self-control. Even though I don't see it in that, but that would be the option. I find out the cause. And then deal with the cause that way, building it's not building self-control. It could just be indiscipline as well.
Actually, could just be.
So I think that's the way to go. Staying away from it, staying away from those places, I don't think makes too much sense, because you will find the factors that exist in those places in other spheres of life.
But do you not think that if, like, you know what I was saying about putting in boundaries in place? Like, I mean, obviously this is a man, but I was talking like from a girl's point of view. You know, it's like if I say if we're going to a club, we only go in pairs. We never separate. We, you know, all those type of things where you put certain boundaries in place. That means that you're constantly. I was going to say controlled, but that's not what I mean. But
I was going to say, is this a ball and a chain thing?
No. But what I mean is that, you know, if you know you have, so for example, let me use myself as an example. If I know that whenever I go to a club, I want to drink, right? And I can't handle my drink, but I feel like inside a club I have to drink, right? And I know that this happens. So as soon as I get into a club, I drink. Of course, because I can't handle my drink, I now misbehave.
Right.
Yeah. This is the thing. So now, do I stop going to clubs, or do I keep going to clubs until I develop to try and develop a point where I actually can go to a club and be okay and behave?
Right.
So that's basically the question.
Right.
So from my point of view, if I'm answering that question in that situation, what I would say is that, well, it's a hard one for me because I don't even want to be in a club. But let's pretend that that I love drinking and I love being in a club. My response would be that, okay, I can't say just keep going there and build self-control, because that's not going to happen, because clearly there's a history that shows that when I go there, this is what I do, and I have nothing in place to help me not do it. Exactly. Now, in order to build self-control, I'm thinking I need to put things in place that will help me to not do it. Those type of things are the boundaries I was talking about. Like every time I go to a club, I go with a particular friend who is very good at, you know, making sure that you have one drink and no more. I go with I have a pact with, so it's not a ball and chain type of thing, but these people are there supporting me. So as they support me,
support system.
Yes. So as they support me, and maybe I will get better, and maybe then I can develop the self-control that we're referring to, because of the boundaries and the support system that has been put in place, as opposed to not going there at all. Because like you said, if I don't go there at all, one day I'll go to somebody's party, it might not be a club, and then I was the same sort of atmosphere. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to drink, and then same misbehaving happens. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like, obviously the first thing we even have to find out is, okay, why do I feel that when I go to a club I have to drink? But the point is, you know, they say this all the time. I'm not a drinker, so I don't know. But they say this all the time, that, you know how people smoke and drink socially. There's something about that's not what they do, but they do it socially. And you used to do these things. So maybe you can speak to that.
Well, so right there I debunk it.
Debunk what?
Debunk the notion that an atmosphere calls for it. There is something of an atmosphere, yes.
Is there peer pressure, do you think?
No. These are all self-determining. Whether you choose to drink or not, you choose to smoke or not, it's entirely yours.
But do you not think that? Okay, let me let you finish.
I say that, Tunike, I've done both. I've smoked and I've drunk, and never was I under any pressure from anyone. And I say this because even within that time, I mean, check it out, you know this, I can easily go 6 months, 1 year without touching a drop of alcohol, whether I've been at parties or not. Why? Because I've chosen not to.
But I actually don't think you're a perfect example for this,
Ah,
because you're not easily moved by anybody. You're not swayed by any. You're not the character that could fall into. Why are you pulling faces?
okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not. Nobody can really push you to do what you don't want to do.
Right. Okay. So,
But if you think of someone that is trying to fit in, again, like we said, it's always back to the why, because there's clearly something else much deeper that is in operation.
yeah.
But if there's somebody that's always trying to fit in, they happen to go, out with their friends, everybody's drinking. Oh, why aren't you having a drink? Then they take a drink. You know what I mean? As in, I can see why it
I
could
can.
be something.
Well, okay. So so let's say there is that thing called peer pressure. But I said the reason why I say I doubt it, right, is because take somebody in that position, right, and they hear that
Somebody that can be easily that gives into peer pressure.
yeah,
Okay.
and has ended up at this party or nightclub, right, and was going to drink. Which is their normal default, Abby, when they're not
When they're not
in
environment.
the environment.
Yes.
And then they hear that the Metropolitan Police have put out an all points whatever, that there's a when they do this drink driving blitz, you were surprised that that person
Well, you
won't,
see, but
won't drink that night.
I will argue that that's a boundary, and that's what I'm saying. When there's certain boundaries in place, they didn't put that boundary in place, but that boundary was put in place for them.
And based on that boundary, they made a choice.
Yes, no. So yes, but because that's like what they see as a very serious, very serious boundary, one that they don't want to.
So they're able to be in that environment without drinking. This is the point I'm trying to make.
No, they'll probably leave. I don't know. We don't know for a fact that they will stay. They'll probably leave.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? Because if I can't drink, I know I can't drink because the risk is too high. So if I can't drink, I'm leaving.
Okay, so then in that case, the person just stay home.
Okay, so which?
I mean, come on now. Don't be silly.
but don't you think that? Okay, all right. So stay home, but don't you think?
No. Actually, I'm kidding.
Because there must be. I don't know.
But I think that the person should face the
inner work. People have told you about inner work.
Yeah, as to why you feel that you need to. And why that, because if you're going to end up misbehaving, don't let somebody just slap you at your age because you're misbehaving. So yeah, the person needs to, like you said, set boundaries that help them. No, but this is assuming that this person wants to.
No, but you remember that's the first thing I said. The person has to accept that what they're doing is misbehavior to them, and they want to change. Because if that hasn't happened, then there's no point. But if they themselves agree that actually they would rather be more controlled, then
they should set themselves.
But I mean, they should really find out why they're doing it in the first place, and boundaries will help. Anyway, I think.
But the answer is to find out why. And that will lead to a swifter solution than just setting the boundaries. That will bring, I think, as well, but it's a longer route.
You see, that's the thing. It's a much longer route because that could take years.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
But well, hey, look, good luck to both of you really in this, because I imagine that one is embarrassed. In fact, even the fellow might be embarrassed the next day as well. So it might be just an embarrassing situation for both. So I imagine that it's not easy, especially for the person who isn't misbehaving in the first place, dealing with that sort of embarrassment. But it's not the end of the world. There are worse problems, and I think it's something that can be sorted. As long as you choose to want to sort it, it can be sorted.
As long as he chooses to want to sort it.
Yeah. And as long as he chooses to want to sort it. And I imagine that if she is patient enough to work with him, they will get there.
That's it.
This is just our opinions, by the way.
Yeah, obviously, everything here is just our opinion. So, okay.
Alrighty.
Till next time.